Hello, Michael. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how I cut your prescription transitions gray lenses with Crizal anti-glare for your RayBan 2140, which is the original Wayfarer, color 901, which is the classic shiny black in the 50 eye size. So let's begin. I'm going to take everything out of the original packaging as RayBan sends it to me. Your Italian leather RayBan case, your RayBan frame, RayBan cleaning cloth, and a little bit of junk mail in here. Junk mail in several languages. That's what I'm going to do for you, as well as a booklet about all the icons from the aviator to the shooter, the caravan clubmaster, somewhere in here. Somewhere, there it is, the frame you're getting, the Wayfarer. Now this is, let me put everything back in here before I begin. Of course, all frames come with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together while it is being shipped from Italy. And of course, I'm going to put all that back on there when I ship to you. And Michael is proudly serving in our U.S. military overseas, and I'm going to put that on there when I ship overseas to you. But this is the original Wayfarer, which is a sunglasses. I have taken out your heavy glass lenses. How do I know they're heavy glass? That is why I'm taking them out, and I'm going to install the lightweight, unbreakable, bulletproof lenses instead. So let me go ahead and begin. I'm going to take your frame, I'm going to put it into the tracing element of my edger and hit start. Let me get that out of the way. So a little stylus is going to pop up. It's going to go around and trace the inside shape of the right lens before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic RayBan frame, and you will receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase. Now, that is the shape of the lens we're cutting out, that green outline. Hopefully you can see that. My camera is good enough to pick that out. That is the actual size of the lens. I'm going to go ahead and magnify it again while I'm working on it. Now, your pupillary distance in your right eye, actually both eyes, is 30.5. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in there, tap the button until I can type 30.5. I also want to raise the optical center height up to 24. And that is that. So let's come down here. We're going to get your lenses prepped. Yeah, we're going to make your lenses real preppy. How you like that? So your right eye is -2 1/4, -1 1/4 at 180. That ain't it. Yeah, there we go. -2 1/4, -1 1/4. Let's go ahead and highlight that, shall we? 2 1/4, 1 1/4, and this is your right lens. I'm going to go ahead and mark that. And of course, you're going to receive these original packets to verify that these are the Transitions brand by Essilor. So, right eye is 180. I'm going to spin the axis wheel and put it actually on 0, which is a fancy way to say 180. Take your lens out of the protective sleeve. Now it comes with a little laminate on the lens that protects the lens while it's being shipped, so nothing rubs against the front surface, the convex surface of the lens. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to put that on there when I ship to you, but I'm going to stick it on that label for now. Let's see, -2 1/4, -1 1/4, -2 1/4, -1 1/4 at 180. -2 1/4. Let's zero that out. Make sure I've got the crosshairs of a scope, which you understand also well. Put it in. Rotate the lens until the spherical power comes in clearly. Find the optical center of the lens. Check your astigmatism correction. That looks good. I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses, and let me darken those for you. In fact, let me see which pen is writing well today. It's always a mystery. There we go. Uno, dos, ocho. I didn't know there was going to be so much math involved. And this is the right lens. I'm going to do the same thing now for the left lens, which reads -250, -1 at 010. Turn the axis wheel to 010. There is a 10 on this one. It's only the 180 that is not marked. -250, -1. Let's take the left lens out of the packet. Take the laminate off the front of the lens. Stick that on there so I can find it later. Put the power drum on -250. Rotate the lens till the sphere power comes in clearly. Check your astigmatism correction, which I will explain later. Put 3 dots on your lenses. Dos, cuatro, nuevo. I think that's how it goes. And this is L, which stands for not right. Now, if you missed any of this, let me recap. Oh, I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to keep telling that joke as long as I think it's funny. Okay, so where were we at? right lens, left lens, left lens, minus 250, minus 1, and an L for not right. So let's come back down here, grab your lenses, grab the paperwork, grab the right lens. We can't do anything without the right lens. That's the, that's the lead lens. Put your best lens forward. Put the lens onto the platform. Now, this is a block, or as I like to call them, Jenny from the block. They make little horsey sounds, but not for long, because I'm going to put a double-sided adhesive sticker on there, which I've got right here, which was trying to get into the action a little bit earlier. Back off, sticker, back off. I'm putting you up there so you don't steal my limelight. So I'm going to put the sticker onto the first one. The black side is the sticky side. And let's put one onto the second side. Now, if you notice on the back is a silver button, that is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice tonight. And I'm about to unleash it for the first time. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Put that magnet against something magnetical inside the arm here. Place that there. And the reason why I put those 3 dots on there is it gets everything lined up so I know that everything is rotated perfectly. Let me move that arm, which is this thing. I can rotate it, which I will do. I was just trying to get it out of the way. I'm going to put it onto the platform. Where's my stylus? Here it is. Optical center goes right there. Those 2 dots tells me that it's lined up perfectly. And I'm going to hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the right lens. I'm going to do the same thing now for the left lens. First, I've got to pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Put the magnet in there. Make sure it lines up perfectly. Now, the pupillary distance in your left eye is identical to the right, 30.5. So, we're going to come over here. Get that lined up in the crosshairs of a scope. Now that blue cross is the geometrical center of your frame. If we were to measure vertically and horizontally, we would be right there. Your eye is just inset from there and higher up. So we get everything lined up there just perfectly, and hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the left lens. Now this is the edger. This is the star of the show, not me. Not me. Well, the frame really is the star of the show. Great classic RayBan frame. But I'll get back to that later. So this is the edger. It costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy in at least one of these. Put it on your kitchen counter. Then you can cut your own lenses at home. You won't need me anymore. The actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material until it's the final size. This wheel in the center with that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. So now the magnet is going to do its job a second time tonight. It's going to hold it in place into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know the machine well enough to call it chuck. So I'm going to wake up the computer so it knows what shape lens to cut. Now I know from advance the original Wayfarer has a very deep bevel, so I'm going to take it down in advance 0.20 of a millimeter, which is 1/5. These are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, Hindex plastic, or Trivex, I would select that. But we're going to stick with polycarbonate. I do not want to polish the edge of your lens because it's not going to be seen anyway. I do not want to put a bevel on the front surface, the convex surface of the lens. I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. I'm going to hit the green arrow, which is start in every language. The door closes, the clamp shuts, making a just terrible sound. And now the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around tracing it. And the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. Now, the spinning wheel is the cutting wheel. It has moved into place. If you see light flickering in the background, that is water there to catch the optical sawdust from the lens as it comes off the cutting wheel. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, Hindex plastic, and Trivex cut wet. Now water will spray onto the lens for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle just to wash away any optical debris. As you can see dangling on the edge of the lens now. That's why the water will spray on the lens. Now, as I mentioned, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. These are the Essilor brand of lenses. Essilor calls polycarbonate airwear because they feel that it's light as air. These are the TR, which stands for Transition 7 gray lenses. Of course, you don't have to use the abbreviations. It says it right there, Transition Signature 7 in gray. Now, I'll demonstrate that later, but you also have the CrizalAlize. Crizal Anti-glare is 3 features in one. Let me grab a lens without it. The anti-glare feature eliminates glare at night, especially driving at night in the rain, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead, fluorescent lights, and the such. The second feature, it's an anti-reflection lens. That's why it has the initials ARC. So it eliminates reflections. People aren't looking at their reflection when they're looking at you. Then it makes for much better eye contact. Plus, if you take a selfie or if someone else takes a picture with a flash, you won't see the flash lit up in the lens. You'll see just your eyes. Now, the third feature that I like, which is the practical side, is it comes with the industry's hardest scratch coating, because the machine that actually vaporizes 7 different coatings onto your lens. Actually, if you notice, the edge of your lens is completely flat, just like a nickel. If I were to take it out now, it would stand up on the counter on its own. But it's, we'll get the V-shaped bevel in a moment. But yeah, it vaporizes 7 different coatings onto the lens, and the machine that does that costs well over $1 million. So to protect your time and investment, they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on there. So now it's getting the V-shaped bevel. But as I was mentioning, the polycarbonate lenses, they are 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. They are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin. Your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes. Unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that you need to reapply every few hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun, this is permanent and never needs to be reapplied. So water has begun spraying on the lens, which tells me it's in the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle. In just a moment, a lever will come into play. Come on, lever, make me proud, make me proud. There we are at the end of that lever is a spinning wheel, something you would find on the end of a Dremel tool. At least that's what I would think. I have a Dremel tool, a polisher that looks like that. That's what's applying the safety bevel to the rear surface, the back surface, the concave surface of the lens. Should any of the lens protrude out of the back surface of the frame and come in contact with the cheek, that'll be nice and smooth, which is a great rap band from the old school days. Everyone remember Nice and Smooth? All right, so let me take your left lens, your right lens out, dry it off, see if it fits first time around. Oop, there's a little piece of swarf there, so I'm taking that off. Can you see that? The machine doesn't always get it, so I'm going to use my thumbnail. I'm going to remove all of that from the back surface of the lens, do a quick inspection of the front surface. There's a little bit more. And once I'm convinced I have it all off, I carefully collect it very neatly into one pile on the counter, and then I wipe it on the floor. Because I tell everyone, kids, I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess like this. So kids, if you want to grow up and make a mess, you gotta stay in school. So I'm going to tuck the right lens. I keep wanting to say left. Tuck this lens. I'm taking this lens, tucking it in at the outside corner, using my thumbs to press down at the nose. It does not want to go in. Just checking, just checking. Nope, it ain't gonna. So I'm going to take it down another 1/5 of a millimeter. Tap, 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 tap. Put the left lens. What is wrong with me tonight? Put the right lens. See, I'm trying to do the left, so I'm done. And get out of here. And hit retouch. The golden rule: you can always cut more off of a lens. You can never add it back on there. And so I start a little large and work my way down. So as I mentioned, Michael is proudly serving our country. His wife Ellie, I do not know if she is living with him or not. I didn't get that far in the conversation. Must be hard to have a relationship that far away. In fact, any relationship. I live in the same house with my wife, and that's tough. For her, that is. Easy for me. I'm married to a saint. Her, on the other hand, she doesn't get to say that. Although I've been with my wife for 8 years. We've been together a total of 10 years, and we have never had one argument. We have still never had one fight, one argument. It sounds corny, but I married my soulmate, and I hope Michael did the same thing with his best friend, marrying his best friend Ellie. I think the reason we never fight is I'm never home. I'm the hardest working man in the optical business. Putting in 100 hours a week just to get everything shipped. 50 hours in the retail store, 50 hours in the online store. Alright, so let's see. This one's done. Open the door with my mind. I can do other things with my mind. I can melt ice with my mind. It just takes a couple hours, but I can do it. And I'm going to keep telling that joke until I think I can find one funnier. You're paying for that joke, you know, so you enjoy it, laugh. I'm going to tell it again. You know, I can melt ice with... No, never mind. Okay, so I'm going to tuck the right lens. I'm tucking... Wait, it's the left lens now. No, this is still the right lens. I'm going to tuck the right lens in at the outside corner using my thumbnails. It's fighting me. It's fighting me. Push down at the nose. Come on, you. Come on, you. Still don't want to go in, so I'm going to still take a little bit more off. A little bit more. Hit retouch. I apologize, this is going to take an extra 5 minutes, but I am a perfectionist and you want someone like me cutting your lenses before they get shipped worldwide, because you never have a second chance to make a first impression. So back down onto the cutting wheel, the bevel wheel, the bevel wheel. Man, I'm thinking about if I ever had to do it all over again, I think I would have gone into the Air Force knowing what I know now. I still would have gotten licensed, gotten my professional license in opticianry, but then gone into the Air Force where I make glasses. I tell people, here's your 4 pair of glasses you get to choose from. Now get out of here. But get a chance to see the world. But when I was 19 or 20 years old, you know, for some reason, I just did not want someone yelling at me, in my face yelling at me. I don't know what my hang up was about that. And people tell me it's only for 8 weeks and then it's over. But I did think about it. Plus I must think it's got to be good practice for when you get married, having someone yell at you all in your face. Of course that doesn't happen to me, but I know one day it will happen. And that'll be a good chance to prepare me for that day. I know that after 10 years my boot camp is coming. It's gonna come. It's coming one day. My luck's gonna run out. In fact, my wife has been begging me for about 6 months to make her a pair of glasses, and I've been too busy, but I keep telling her I don't want her to see her best. If she sees what I really look like, she might just actually leave me. So I want my wife to never have a good pair of glasses. Okay, so let's see. I'm taking the middle lens, not the right or the left. I'm taking the middle lens. I'm tucking it in at the outside corner, using my thumbs to press down the nose. Now it snaps in, and let's go ahead and cut the unright lens. We're going to flip that over to L, and let's see, put the stylus down, put the lens and make sure it's what did I do? What? Oh yeah, see, make sure it's right side up, magnet on top, and hit start. Just like before, the door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by the 2 white styluses again, just like before, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around measuring the shape. And as always, measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel, so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, of which you do not have any, which is why I use the thinner, lighter weight lenses. So I can go ahead and take this block off. So when you buy glasses from people online, they charge you for the prescription. They just don't get it. And then if you want to upgrade to the thinner, lighter weight, unbreakable polycarbonate lenses, they charge you a fee for that. They still just don't get it. And then if you want the aspheric lenses, which have the flatter curvature to fit today's flatter curvature frames, they don't get that either. You get that all for free simply by buying the frame from me. So let me come back down here. Let me grab your prescription. We're going to go back to 0, which a straight line is 0 to 180. That's why it just says 0 on there. I'm going to put it in just above that dot, and I'm going to get -2 1/4, 1 tick mark away from 2. Now the unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. It starts at 0 and goes up in quarter increments from there. 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, and so on. You're at 2 1/4. So you have 9 steps of far-sighted correction. You are nearsighted. Without your glasses on, everything is much too large. That is why there's a minus sign. Your lenses will minify down to the correct size. You're on the 9th rung of a ladder. Now, you have an additional 5 steps of astigmatism correction. Now, there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. It's like saying someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. That is it. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. So this first number minifies everything down to the correct size. Astigmatism is what makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. So it is the fine tune knob, and we're going to turn that fine tune knob to 180. As I mentioned, a straight line is 0 over here at the cap, 90 in the center, 180 on this side. We're going to turn that knob all the way to 180, which is where we're at. We're now going to check the astigmatism correction, and we're ending up at, where are we? Let me pay attention, let me pay attention. We're ending up at 350. How did we get there? Remember high school algebra where you add two like signs together? Yeah, me either, but I just remember how to say that. But let's use today's terms. You let someone borrow $2.25, and then you let them borrow another $1.25. They would owe you a total of $3.50. That's where at 3.5 in the red, exactly halfway between 3 and 4. So now your left eye, you need 10 steps of far-sighted correction, but you need one step stronger. But however, you need one step less astigmatism correction. We're still going to end up with the combined value of 350 when we add these two numbers together, so the powers are the same for both eyes. How we get there is another story. Now we're going to turn that fine tune knob to 10 now, which is going to be over here, and you think 10 and 180 are very far apart. No, they're actually very close to the 180 meridian. Your right eye is dead on it, your left eye is just above it at about 10. Now these first two numbers are real values to be concerned with. This last number, 180 to 10, just tells us, it's an obscure number for you, but it just tells me where the two curves line up. One curve going 250, another curve going 1. It just tells us where to line up those two curves so that you see your best. Let me take your right lens out. No, wait, which lens is this again? I've been wanting to say left forever, and now I didn't say it. All right, so use my thumbnail. This time I'm going to eliminate the counter, and I'm just going to drop it right onto the floor. Again, I do this because if someone comes over and they see a dirty floor, it makes it think I've been working. I can fool people that way. Okay. So let's take the unright lens, tuck it in at the outside corner, and then use my thumbs, press down at the nose. Oh, he's going to fight me again. It's fighting me. It's fighting me. All right, so we're going to take it down another 1/10 of a millimeter. Tap, tap. Hang on, where are you at? Where are you at? There we are. And hit the retouch button. Where's my flashlight? You know, I've got a littler flashlight. I just can't find it. So back down onto the bevel wheel. I promise this will end. This lens will get mounted. It will get shipped. So I'm taking 1/10 of a millimeter off for all my American friends who have no clue. A millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/10 of that distance off until it easily pops in the frame. The reason why I don't want to force it, if the lens were too large, it would cause the frame to stretch, or what we in the business say roll. If you can imagine your frame being a gutter, just like that. If the lens were too large, it would force it to roll outwards at the bottom, giving you a terrible cosmetic look and shortening the life of the frame. Again, as I said, I am a perfectionist. You want someone like me on your team to make sure your lenses are perfect, especially for how far I have to ship. I know the service people are not allowed to mention where they are serving at. I happen to know because I've got to put a shipping label on there. But I'm shipping these pretty far, so I want to make sure I get it right on the first try. Take the lens out. Where'd my paper towel go? Come here, paper towel. Come here, paper towel. Dry everything off. Give it a quick inspection. Oop, a little bit more swarf right there. Drop it off. Let it fall on the counter. Blow everything off there. So again, tuck it in at the outside corner. Using my thumbs to press down the nose. Now it snaps in easily. Now it's a team player. It's good at taking orders. So I'm going to come back down here, place it in just above that red dot. Turn that fine tune knob to 10. Somewhere between 9 and 11, really. I don't care where it lands. Okay, so check the power. Oop, that's not my flashlight. Come here, flashlight. Where'd you go? Maybe I need a new pair of glasses since I can't see. All right, we're at -250. We're going to check your astigmatism correction, which is another 4 diopters. And we're at -350 again. Man, I must be good. I couldn't have done any better if I had made these myself. Okay, so pupillary distance of 30.5 in each eye, which is a total of 61. I can do that math because I took off my socks and shoes and counted that high. Yes, I have 51 toes to go with my 10 fingers. Okay, so I'm going to place my PD stick against my thumb on your right lens, and then when we hold it up to the left lens, we're getting 61 millimeters. So that is cut perfectly. I want to check my optical center height. Man, the kid is good. Must have gone to school to learn how to do this. Okay, so I want to go ahead and clean these dots off. And now, as I mentioned, when you get these in the mail, and of course free shipping anywhere in the US, but when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And I'm no different. I'm part of that 80%, but because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. Sorry, I'm just going to clean these a little bit more. But, so just stop by your local optical shop and just tell them if it's too loose or too tight or too crooked, and it only takes about 30 seconds to a minute to adjust a pair of glasses properly. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off and I press down, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Now tonight I am wearing the RayBan 2132 new Wayfarer in color 789, which is the punchline to one of my favorite kids jokes. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 789. No, seriously, do you want to know why 6 is afraid of 7? It's because 7 is a registered 6 offender. Okay, never mind. Hey, what's up, camera? Come on, let me tighten the screw on here. Hang on, let me tighten the screw so it doesn't keep flopping. This is the original Wayfarer. It was designed by Bosch & Lomb in 1952. It was bought by Luxottica, an Italian firm, in 1992 and shipped overseas. These used to be made in Rochester, New York. Now they're made in Italy. This is the 2132 new Wayfarer, made in 1992, and then again, it too is made in Italy. So that is the difference. New Wayfarer that I'm wearing, original Wayfarer on this side. Let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing. Flip these over, press down, there is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do. Now this is what your lenses look like clear. I'm going to go ahead and activate them, which means expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light to show you how they darken. Now, as you can see, all transition lenses will get dark on day 1. Give them 2 weeks of exposure to the sun, and they're going to continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks until they reach their final exposure. After that, they will work for years with maximum performance. The only time they won't work is if you're behind the windshield of a car. Your windshield stops the UV from entering your car, causing your dashboard to break, and that's why they won't turn dark in a car. Now, if you have a convertible or a motorcycle, yes. Now, they're also temperature sensitive, meaning they will get darker when it's 85 degrees and below than they will when it's 95 and above. But I remind everyone, when it's triple digits outside, you're miserable, they're miserable, everyone's miserable when it's 100 degrees outside. So that is the first time your transition gray lenses have darkened. Don't worry, they're going to keep darkening. Come on, Michael, we talked about that. Don't you remember? So that's it. If anyone has any questions, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. or simply click the Contact Me button on the website. Michael, again, thank you for your service to our country. Hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription lenses with the Transitions Gray lenses and Crizal Anti-Glare for your RayBan 2140, the new Wayfarer color, original Wayfarer color 901, which is the classic shiny black and the 50 eye size. And hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.